Hey everybody, Henry W. Steele here. In this video, I want to talk about red letter days. Specifically, I was reading The Tunnel Through the Air, Gann's novel from 1927, and in chapter 10 on page 105, it says that May 21st, 1927, was a red letter day in the life of Robert Gordon. I got to thinking, I wonder if there's anything special or significant about his using the words red letter day. Theoretically, Gann encoded all kinds of information into the tunnel through the air, so it would seem like red letter day could have some sort of significance. Now, the first thing that I really noticed was there seemed to be some A's used a lot. In other words, the month was May, which sounds like A. And there's Charles A. Lindbergh, who crossed the Atlantic Ocean, and so forth. And of course, the 1850 novel Scarlet Letter came to mind, where one of the characters of that novel had to wear a red or scarlet A for adulteress on her clothes, but it made me think that maybe there was something to it. And, I opened up the astrolog program to May 21st, 1927 to see if there was anything that really stuck out. And I was expecting to find something involving Mars, to be completely honest with you. Now, the number 110 is important in the tunnel through the air. And we see that Mars was at 110 degrees. So maybe there's something to that. Excuse me. But in looking at anything, there's no real big aspect happening. The only other thing that really seems to stick out at that particular point when I initially looked at this was the fact that the lunar north node was right on the cusp between Gemini and Cancer right here. So it's essentially at the summer solstice point in the zodiac. So I got to thinking, was there anything important involving eclipses? And I noticed that the sun was not too far away from the node, which means there's an eclipse getting ready to happen. And so I advanced the program forward to see which day the eclipse would actually happen when the sun and the moon are together right by the node. And it turns out to be June 29th, which is 39 days after May 21st here. So I was thinking, was there anything important with 39 days? Maybe it had something to do with 40. But then I realized that there was a lunar eclipse that happened about 14 days before that, right here on June 15th, which is 25 days after May 21st. And then from there, I thought maybe that, because a lunar eclipse is considered a blood moon, when the Earth's shadow goes over the moon, it turns kind of red color. So maybe since May 21st was 25 days before the lunar eclipse, maybe when a lunar eclipse happens, the 25 days leading up to it are actually red letter days. Now, I know that's kind of a stretch and it would need verification some way, somehow. But I thought about it, and it makes sense because the May 21st would be the letter A red letter day in the 26 days that would be red letter days, including the letter Z, which would be the actual date of the eclipse. And I wrote it out here in words so it'd be a little more clear. June 15th, if you look here, June 15th is the day of the lunar eclipse. That would be the Z's red letter day, and the day before that would be Y, and the day before that would be X. And I skipped a bunch here all the way to May 21st, which would be the letter A's red letter day. Now, going back to Tunnel Through the Air there. Now, that could obviously be a possibility, but it would, like I said, need some sort of verification from Gann's work or other work. And then I remembered something completely off topic. In the 1985 Robert Zuckerberg movie, Back to the Future, Doc Brown actually talks about having a red letter day when he discovered time travel. Let's watch this clip. It's actually 37 seconds long. So listen, pay attention closely here.
Here's the red letter date in the history of science, November 5th, 1955. Yes, of course, November 5th, 1955.
Why? I don't get what happened.
That was the day I invented time travel. I remember it vividly. I was standing on the edge of my toilet, hanging a clock. The porcelain was wet. I slipped, hit my head on the edge of the sink. And when I came to, I had a revelation, a vision, a picture in my head, a picture of this. This is what makes time travel possible.
Now, he gave November 5th, 1955 as a red letter day for science. And if you look here, it does say shield eyes from light, and that is something you have to do during an eclipse. I know that's grasping at straws there, but let's go ahead and actually look at the date, November 5th, 1955. We'll go forward here to 1955, then to November, then to November 5th. And we discover that the sun is once again close to the lunar north node, so there is going to be an eclipse soon. So if we count the days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. 39 days after November 5th, 1955, we have a solar eclipse that just happens to have a lunar eclipse 14 days before it, so that it would make November 5th, 1955, the letter A, red letter day again. So that I found to be very interesting. Now, I don't know that that's exactly what they were trying to point out or anything. One thing that is interesting is if you will look at Back to the Future, the movies, you're going to find that there's a lot of stuff encoded in those movies that is actually Gann-like. I know that sounds strange, but there's actually a lot in there if you pay attention to it. So is it possible that a red letter day is 39 days before an eclipse or 25 days before a lunar eclipse? It's entirely possible. I would hope that there would have been, there's November 5th and May 21st, those aren't the same days in the month, but maybe they wouldn't actually have to be the same days of the month. Now, here's what I mean about that. Most people don't know this, but there was an author named Robert Gordon Anderson. And if you read his works, there's a particular book, Half Past 7 Stories by Robert Gordon Anderson. He actually talks about red letter days in one of the stories that's in that book, which I find very interesting. If you read Robert Gordon Anderson's stuff, I think you're going to find out that Robert Gordon from the Tunnel Through the Air probably was a decent nod to Robert Gordon Anderson. In the 8th chapter, The Animal's Birthday Party, we read that birthdays are always important events, but some are more important than others. The most important of all, of course, is one you can't remember at all, the 0 birthday, when you were born. After that, the 5th, I suppose, is a red letter day. A boy certainly begins to appreciate life when he gets to be 5 years old. Next probably would come in the 7th for a boy or girls, pretty big by then, and able to do so many things. In old Bible days, 7 was supposed to be a sacred number, and even today many people think it's lucky. Why, at the baseball games, the men in the stands rise up in the 7th inning stretch, they say, to bring victory to the home team. The 17th birthday is the next great event. By that time, a boy is quite grown up and ready for college, and on the 21st, he can vote. So Robert Gordon Anderson gives basically the 0, 5, 7, 17, and 21 as days that are essentially red letter days here. So it's entirely possible that the November 5th, 1955 and May 21st could very well fall into this more esoteric understanding of red letter days.